Well, they say time is a healer, but it can be an enemy if you're up against a deadline.
What has happened to those properties?
Let's go back and find out. Time now to return to Preston, where earlier in the programme, business partners Paul and Chris bought the ground floor flat conversion of this terraced house, plus the freehold of the whole property for £41,000. Paul's an engineer who lives in Preston, and his friend Chris is a stockbroker. They're part-time developers with 2 other rental properties.
Well, I came to have a look around and dismissed it, said I didn't want it, because my initial impression was that it was going to be a smaller place.
Actually rang me when I was having my lunch one day at work and said the auction's in 45 minutes, what do you think? And so we just thought we'd give it a whirl.
2 months later, we returned to meet up again with them to see how the work's progressed.
No, I think we've done a good job.
Adding those new railings and the work they've done to the front garden, plus the new windows they've installed, have really given the property much improved curb appeal. Inside, the large bay-fronted living room has been completely transformed. The floors have been sanded back and look fabulous. They've certainly brought the best out of the original features in this lovely room with its high ceilings. The bedroom has been redecorated and the kitchen has been completely refitted with new units, appliances and flooring. The tidy old bathroom suite has been brought right up to date. It's all looking good, but it's not been easy getting here.
We've had quite a lot of work to do in here, to be honest. The main thing we had to contend with at the start was damp all along the back of these walls and into the main part of the house, but it certainly was at its worst in the kitchen area. We ripped the kitchen all out and stripped the walls back to the brickwork, had it replastered, but it looked absolutely horrendous during the process. But I think we're pretty pleased with how it's turned out, and, you know, it gives a nice sort of fresh, contemporary look.
The kitchen looks out onto the garden, which is a real bonus here. The upstairs flat only has access via a fire escape. Paul and Chris both have full-time jobs, so who did all the work?
Well, we basically aim to get tradesmen to do all the work, but given the timescale, there's certain people that you can't fit in. So basically, we picked up the jobs that we couldn't line someone up to do.
So they ended up doing a lot of the joinery work, like skirting boards. Paul's done a lot of plumbing, rerouting the pipes in the kitchen and bathroom.
So the layout of the bathroom stayed pretty much the same. We've had to move the shower from this wall here where the window overhangs the bath because we wouldn't get a good seal there. And we've moved it over to this wall and built a false wall to support the shower and overhang the bath. It's been quite a fiddly job because it's quite tight in here with all the amount of plumbing work that's had to go on, but I'm really happy with the result.
As Chris and Paul bought the freehold for the whole property, they're responsible for the communal areas.
When we first came to the property, the whole place just felt dingy, so we've tried to add a bit more light there and just brighten everything up, boxing in all the various meter cupboards, also sanded off the floor. And we've treated the upstairs tenants to a new carpet on the stairs there as well, so they're delighted.
Nice one, Chris. Now, I thought there was scope for a basement conversion down here. Have they given any more thought to that?
We've actually had the fire officer around from the council to have a look at what we need to do in terms of regulations, and we do have to plasterboard the roof of the cellar and do a bit of work down there, but we'll just keep that simple, get that done to the, the minimum we need.
They paid £41,000 for the flat and the freehold of the whole property. How much did the work cost? Did they stick to their budget?
So we've got a couple of bills to come in, but we're looking on target really for just over 10,000. We could try and get everything perfect, all the walls perfectly smooth and all the rest of it, but it's about getting the right balance.
We want someone to come in and think, it's a nice place, it's clean, it's bright, it's fresh. They can put the pictures up they want to, they can put mirrors up and all that kind of stuff. But we just wanted to get it to a level where we could show people and hopefully they'd be pleased with the result.
Time to get some advice from 2 local property experts.
I think the best selling point of the property is probably the lounge with the fireplace and the high ceilings. I think it sets a very nice tone for the whole property.
First impressions of the property are really good. I think the refurb's been done really well, obviously very quickly. Really good standard.
It's very nice to see that they've made an effort to keep the communal areas very tidy, very clean, and I think as anyone comes to look at the property, one of the first things that they will notice is the communal areas are very well cared for.
I think with the kitchen they've done a really good job, kept it very simple but still nice modern units. It's nice and spacious, so you could get a dining table in there as well if you wanted to.
Although Paul and Chris have added this to their buy-to-let portfolio, I'm sure they'd be interested to hear how much the flat is now worth. They paid £41,000 at the auction and have spent just over £10,000. So is the flat now valued above £51,000?
From a resale point of view, as it stands, I would think that the current value is £65,000 to £70,000.
I think the resale value of this property is going to be in the region of £70,000.
That valuation range of 65 to 70,000 would represent a gross profit before the usual selling expenses of between 14 and 19,000 pounds. Would that sort of figure tempt them to sell?
I wouldn't sell it for anything less than 80 plus. Upstairs sold for 86 without a freehold. At the end of the day, we're not selling it, so it doesn't really matter. But a bit disappointed. But I'm not going to lose any sleep over it because I'm sure by the time we sell it, it'll be worth a little bit more.
The good news is that Paul and Chris have already found a tenant. Let's hope they haven't let the flat for less than they could have.
From a rental point of view, I would expect the property to rent at £425 to £450 per calendar month.
I think the rental figure would be £450 per calendar month.
Yeah, that's not too far off. I mean, obviously it's rented already on day one of showing the first person for £450, so that's OK.
For their first purchase under the hammer, Paul and Chris had to race to the auction. So are they happy they crossed the finish line?
Yeah, I'm absolutely pleased we decided to go for it, and even though it was a last-minute one, it was definitely the right decision. And if I could buy another one of these tomorrow, I would do.
Buy another 10 tomorrow, won't you?
We'll be back next time with more auction rooms all around the country.
So join us then for more Homes Under the Hammer.
See you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
More tomorrow at 10. Next, let down by the computer giants and the lowdown on travel insurance. Don't get done, get Dom. And later on BBC One, Wallace and Gromit having a bit of bother with a problem penguin in the wrong trousers at 4.